What's up, Warriors? It's me, LC, and this is Winning Wednesday. Let's build our room up some. Good morning. Can't quite see who's here with me yet, but it's Winning Wednesday live with LC, and this morning we're going to talk about the actual testing of the tools. What happens when you know everything to do in a situation, but it's time to implement the use of the tools. We're going to talk about today how to step through that fear and uncomfortableness and do what it is we have to do for the betterment of ourselves, for the health of our recovery, and our families. So if you can and feel led, please get this shared out real quick. I'm doing a few of my shares while the room builds up, and then we're going to get going. I pray everybody's having a great week so far. This is a strange week as we're getting ready to go into full moon time. Today is a full moon. And don't think, we're 70% water, y'all. The moon runs the tides in the oceans. Don't think it doesn't have an effect on us. We are all one in this universe. We all work together. And so many times when we find ourselves in these strange moods, these strange feelings, going through these strange thought patterns, and we think to ourselves, what's going on, man? Like last week I felt fine. I was doing good. What's wrong with me now? And we get tempted to fall into that always language, that extreme language and emotions that say, I can't do this. It's always going to be this way. I just can't beat this depression or this anxiety or these negative thoughts. And that's not true. Sometimes you really need to start searching into your environment and what's happening in the universe around you. To become enlightened and to become one with the universe means learning about your counterparts. And that's really one of them. It took me a while to really come to understand that, and it took somebody wise to peep me to that little, situation and that little form of knowledge. But you know what? It's like once you realize what the diagnostic issue is, and you realize it's like diagnosing and fixing an engine. You hear a little tick, and you think, oh crap, my whole engine's gone because here's this tick. And really, when you go in and you find out, oh no, this cap was just loose. And we tighten it up and the tick's gone and your engine runs better than ever. But what happens if you would have junked it at the first sound of the tick and never tried to find out exactly what the issue was? What are you wasting with your extremes in emotions and thought processes? So be careful about going to all of those extremes. All right. I'm going to leave my shares there because I'm ready to get started with y'all. I got a big day at work today, and I want to get with you guys and get all pumped up and get life going. So we got enough folks here right now, so we're going to get this going. All right. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. Yeah, man, I hit the wrong opening button. But you know what? That might be a sign. Y'all, if you're not already checking out Anthony Brown's YouTube channel, he does something called Thursdays with Care. And look, it's short, but it's really powerful and it's really wise, the information he gives. And he really, really does a lot of great stuff, on, just everything. So y'all go check out Anthony Brown on YouTube. I don't take anything by chance, man. I know everything's connected. So if I hit that wrong intro, it must be because old AB needs y'all to come and see what's up with him. Hey, what's up, Maddie J. Blonsky? Julie Perkinson, Von Max. Good morning, Stephanie Wagner. Good to see you. Jimmy Cormier, So good to have wisdom in the house with old Jimmy C. And I can't see anybody else. So look, if you are on StreamYard, this is StreamYard right now. If you haven't given Facebook your permission, then it won't show me your comments or your pictures. So please do that if you haven't already. So what's up, everybody? Do we all know what we're supposed to do? By this time, we all have a toolbox that is chocked full of good-looking tools. And then we get mad or we get confused. We get blown out of the water when life comes and says, hey, test these tools. Now, here's a myth we got to shatter right here at the start. When it comes to testing the tools, it ain't going to feel like a massage. I mean, it might feel for like one of those bad ones that you pay for that just kind of beat you. But we got to put our tools to the test. Now, I was talking to one of our warriors yesterday. Oh man, Jimmy C. You know what? Jimmy C, this is no coincidence that you're here and we're talking about this, because I was talking to another of our warriors yesterday. It's not going through the exact same situation in Jimmy C. We are absolutely covering you in prayer right now for this going through your dad, but it is almost the same theme. It came to family member. It came to having to do something that is really going to hurt. Like when we have to use our tools and we have to really test them out, they're not going to feel good and they're going to hurt and they're going to squeeze us, and they are absolutely naturally going to cause us to question. Of course, they're going to cause us to question. And many times we get stuck in that place where we think if we're questioning, we're already wrong. If we're questioning, we're not doing this right. If we're questioning, then our tools aren't strong enough. But that's not even it. There again is that extreme language, that extreme emotion where we say, I'm not doing this right, so I'm not going to do it at all. Or I'm going to stay in this terrible situation. I'm going to stay in this situation that's unhealthy for not only me, but everyone around me, because Jimmy could avoid this situation and therefore have his father stay there and be harmed even worse, or others around him harmed. And, you know, we've got to step through these hard emotions. Look, thoughts are the language of the mind. Emotions are the language of the body. And it's the emotions that are so hard for us to step through. Many times we can step through the thoughts. We can knock those out of the way, but it's the emotions. And there are so many involved in something like this, even just, you know, with what Jimmy's going through. There's so much involved. You know, I'm going to miss this. He's dealing with things like knowing his dad is not the same, you know, guy he's known all his life anymore. That's a hard thing to deal with. And here again is where our tools come in, because we always have a choice. The thing that's different about us, the formerly addicted, now in recovery, working towards being recovered, there's something different about us than the regular population. We know the escape button. Where they may not know it, we do. And that leaves us with this hard choice at all times when things are really, really hard. And there is nothing probably harder than the loss of a family member. And even the loss of what Jimmy's going through right now with his father, and his father yet still being here, he's still grieving a loss. So he's going to have to really put his tools to work, to action. We think about the advice we would give another person. And people know when you're giving them advice versus when you're giving them lived experience. And that was what I was talking about with one of our warriors yesterday when she was saying, you're telling me everything that I would give someone else as advice. And I'm like, yeah, but the difference is I've lived exactly what I'm telling you. And when you live it, you come on the other side of it with a set of wisdoms that is not meant for you to hold, but there will be a moment in your life where you will get to then give that wisdom to someone else. And many times we have to think about these situations when we're going through them and remember, this is not all about me. What I'm learning right now, what I'm going through right now will be for the betterment of not only me and my family in the long run. So we got to get away from the instant gratification. What do I want right now? You know, a big part of recovery is realizing that there's about one thing that you can do to get instant gratification. And we've all driven that lane. We've all taken that road until it fell off the cliff. So we've got to come to understand that instant gratification is only for this one thing. And so we've got to move here and work for the long haul, work for the greater good, work for that bigger picture, and take a moment to be able to walk through those things, Yes, Jimmy, that is exactly the truth. And honestly, that was what I was thinking to say, but I wanted to watch what I said there. But exactly, I mean, that is a hard thing to actually lose someone while they're here and you still have to see them. And many times the families of us in active addiction, a lot of them have gone through something very similar, you know, having to see the people that they knew now no one that they recognize. And that's very hard. I mean, there's not much that you can say to give somebody an instant, you know, bit of comfort in any situation, especially when it comes to someone working their tools. I think about my friend Anthony McCauley right now, who is doing very well. Just to give you guys an update, he lost his wife just not even 3 weeks ago, suddenly. And these things, when we are in recovery, are absolute moments where our tools are to be tested. And many times, if we don't have a toolbox full of tools yet, and we just have 1, 2, or 3, what we can really do is do the very opposite of what we feel led to do. If you're in new recovery and something like this comes up, you got to just do the opposite of what you would think to do until, you know, you start working on that mind, head, and heart. So I'm very proud of him because he really stepped out of his old habits. He really took the time to think about all that he had built. And we've got to do that. Look at everything we've built when it comes to stepping into that one place where we want to escape worse than ever. And we just have to make that decision and dig in and say, you know what, I'm going to ride this out. I'm going to go through. I think about when our hurricanes come at us here on the coast and we make that decision. Okay, do I go to my mom's house? Do I stay here? But either way, I cannot escape this hurricane. I cannot escape it when it's here on top of me. So I've got to make the decision to ride this out. And I got to just look at the bigger picture, look at the structure where I am, look at the surroundings where I am, and decide, is this the place that I need to ride this out? Or do I need to go here to ride this out? In Anthony's case, Anthony decided to ride out this storm at his mom's house, where he could be constantly looking at one of the relationships that his recovery has built. Many times people need to have to personally know what's going on inside of you for you to get in the direct line of sight of how much you've built, whether you've been clean for 3 days, 3 years, or 30 years, doesn't matter. If you've been clean 30 minutes, you've already built some integrity. You've already built some skills because it took a skill to make that decision. We all know that decision is not easy. We know what we should do in the moment, trying to step out of active addiction, but the fear grips us. We're going through 1,000 emotions all at once, but to make that decision and step into recovery, that is a big deal. And many times we forget, we truly forget, or maybe we just don't know to celebrate that decision. You got to celebrate your wins, y'all. Every win you get, celebrate that. It sets your brain up for a momentum of winning. Do an inventory of where maybe you needed to use this tool a little bit different, of where maybe you needed to use, this stuff different, or where you succeeded and where you still need a little bit of work. It's not a time to beat yourself mercilessly because you didn't get one part of it right and then fail to look at the rest. Celebrate your wins where you can get them. Set up your toolbox to where you are surrounded by all the tools. Sit down with your old handy pen and paper and make your battle plan. Write this stuff out. Don't try to keep it all in your head. I guarantee you, I wasted 2 years of my creative life trying to keep all of it in my head. It doesn't work like that. You need to see your battle plan. I'm sure that Jimmy C, with his time and his wisdom, has really had to inventory all of his tools, knowing that he's walking into this situation. And really, the biggest tool and technique you can take away from this, the biggest drop in this whole video is you're gonna have to do it uncomfortable. You're never going to look at your tools long enough until this situation becomes comfortable. You gotta move through it anyway. You gotta move through it afraid. You gotta move through it uncomfortable. And you gotta trust that on the other side, you're gonna be stronger. Your integrity is gonna be even more solid. That you are going to love yourself more for going through this anyway. Because when you run and hide, how do you feel about yourself? When you avoid, how do you feel about yourself? Like you're hiding in a cave? Learn to cultivate your relationship with you. You have the spirit of the Creator that creates worlds, that lives directly inside of you. The power that you are looking externally to tap into lives inside of you. So tap into that. Don't so much get caught up in looking at your immediate surroundings to decide whether you're alone or whether you're amongst friends, whether you are okay or whether you're not. Go within, because the real power to defeat every giant, every situation is very much alive within you, regardless of what you call it, regardless of it doesn't matter the labels you give. What matters is that you tap into that. The moment that I realized that I didn't have to beg some external force to come in and help me and then get disappointed when it didn't, was when I had to change my entire perspective. That moment changed my life. When I realized I don't have to wait for some, outpouring. It's already outpoured. It's already poured into me. And when I change my perception of what answered prayer looks like in my life, I see that they've all been answered. Every one. So go through some of your answers today. Because when you pray for things like peace, strength, integrity, recovery, best believe Those things are not just given. They're not surgically put in. They are through you walking through you going through on the other side with your tools intact, knowing they work. Because now when you share that same advice with somebody else, it's going to have a different feeling behind it. You're going to be able to say, hey, for me, this is the tool that worked. This was how I tweaked it. This was how I utilized it. And this is the result. I am stronger, better, faster. Oh, I'm a recovery warrior, baby. And that's what all of you are. Whether you've realized it or tapped into it yet or not, that's what you are. And that is laying right underneath the surface. It's laying right underneath the fear. So remove the fear, tell it not today, and move through your life in this winning Wednesday, knowing that you can do anything you set your mind to. And that just because it doesn't feel warm and fuzzy doesn't mean it's not powerful. In fact, it's even more powerful. So move through, go through afraid, go through uncomfortable, and know that the power that creates worlds is with you, in you, guiding you, and trust that today. I love you guys, man. Hey, Livy. Hey, Chrissy. Good to see you. Claire Law. Good to see you. Mary Huffman. Good morning. If I didn't see you, Alicia Lee. Good morning. Let me make sure. Amanda Putt. I said that right. Amanda's told me how to say her name. Hey, Priscilla. Love you, Jimmy C. Jimmy C, though, is one of those guys, man, that could tell you to go straight to heck, but it would still be kind of a pleasant ride because he just has love behind everything he says. Man, I love that guy for that. You know, I love him for that. He's like he doesn't know that part of what he does is very, I really admire that. I really admire that. All right, I want to make sure I haven't missed anybody that I can see. Remember, if you guys are watching, this is on StreamYard. So if you haven't given StreamYard your permission, they won't show your picture or your comment to me. So look, guys, we have opened up the Warrior Wear store on Teespring. I don't have the link right here in front of me. I've been putting up new merchandise. So we have a few shirts. We have a few masks and different things up there on that already. If you want to go to Teespring, you can look for Warrior Wear, I Live Recovery, or I Live Recovery. I think that's the name of the store. I'm doing really good promo in this thing, right? But I'm going to order some samples this week, and then I'll have a couple samples of the shirts that you guys can be able to see. We're just trying to move along, and I'm going to actually do it's going to be a paid class, but it's going to be $10, right? $10. If there will be 20 spots for this class, we're going to do a deep dive class into the energy centers in the body, what they mean, how they affect you, how you can really connect with that higher power through getting to know these centers, how you can really bring your life into a place of peace and power, and really just what everything means and how deep everything really goes. We're going to get into that. So that'll be coming up very soon too. And don't worry, we'll do an event. You won't have to remember it from here, but we'll do an event and get you all signed up, and we'll be able to do that. So be thinking about that. Be thinking about all of that. I'll do it, Mary Huffman. I'm just trying to learn all this stuff while I work. You guys got to remember, I work a full-time, heavy labor job, 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week. So doing this is my dream. This that you guys see is me stepping into my dream. And let me remind you, I don't have time to do this every day. I don't have the energy to do this every day, but I step through it anyway because this means everything to me. And I know that as long as I keep taking a step forward in that path, whether it's creating one shirt and getting it up in the store, whether it's spending 5 minutes studying something about YouTube, or something about whatever content, I know I'm stepping towards my dream. So what I do know without a shadow of a doubt is as long as I keep moving towards it, I will get there. And I can't focus in on my immediate surroundings and how I hate this and I wish I didn't have to do this and blah, 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 blah. Because that keeps the carrot of my dream getting further and further away from me. We have to move through our life with an attitude of gratitude every day, even when we're going through those hard moments, when it looks like the dream is not going to come to pass. You know, this dream, I want to last forever. I want to be giving you guys content. I want to go deeper. I want to give you more for the rest of my days on this earth. In order for me to do that, I got to be strong. I got to build a solid foundation. I cannot be shaken. And a lot of what we're going through are tests of destiny. They're destiny tests, if you will. You've probably said you want something. And so now it's got to be tested, because if we just get it, we'll never keep it. We won't have the stamina or the integrity to hold on to it. And you guys see, I will not sell my soul. I will not be sold throughout here to achieve my dreams. I trust my highest power, and I know that I'm being guided. And I cannot tell you that I haven't experienced disappointment, because I have. Y'all have seen some of the hate speech that I get. But all of that I know. Instead of putting it over here in deep hurt and I'm just going to quit, it goes over here in fire. Like, you know what? Come on with it. Because I know this is just testing me for my destiny. And every time it comes through, I'm getting stronger. Stronger, stronger, stronger. Every time I have to work my love muscle, it gets stronger. So work your muscles today. Work your recovery muscles. When you feel and you get into that trigger, do something different. Nothing changes if nothing changes. I love that B-Rain line in that song, man. I love it. In order for everything to change, man, everything's got to change. So if you don't quite have all your tools in a row yet, or like I said earlier, you're just dealing with a couple, then just do the opposite. That's what I did, man, in the beginning. I'm 7 years clean in recovery because my first strategy was to do the very opposite of anything that I thought to do. That was how simple it was. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. In new recovery, you're fighting a nonstop battle. I can tell you it gets better. I can tell you the part you're fighting now, you will not always fight. But I will not lie to you and tell you that you will never have anything else to fight, because this is a process. And think about it. People start playing Little League baseball, and then it goes all the way to the major leagues. It goes all the way to the top. The Little League can't play in the big league, needs a little bit of training. And if you'll remind yourself that everything you're going through is training for the next level, for destiny. And when it all starts falling apart and it hitting you from every side, that's when you throw your hands up and say, oh, thank you, because I am stepping through to this next level. All of my tools are being tested at once. It's getting good, baby. You got to be the one to turn that stuff around. I can motivate you, but if you don't take this out and put it into play in your life and move forward in the direction of your dreams, it will not last. What we're doing is getting your dopamine, your serotonin all raised up, your cortisol's raised up, you're ready to go. But in about 30 minutes, it's going to die down if you don't take some action. So take action today. And if it scares you, whoo, that's the action to take. That's how you know. Let's keep it simple. Keep it simple. Guys, I love you, love you, love you. I really, really do. I hope you feel that from me, man. I really do. I love you guys so much. I believe in every single solitary one of you, regardless of where you've been or where you are. You can do whatever you set your mind to do. Make your decision, stick with it, surround yourself in resources. Just drown yourself in positive information and information that sows into your soul, and let the rest go. All right? If you drown yourself in that, there ain't no way you can't change. You're going to change. So keep going. Don't give up today. And if you do fall down, stand up, brush yourself off, and pick right back up. Guilt has no glory. Shame it's useless. So learn, move forward. Guys, I'm LC, and I love you so much. You guys get out of here and have the most amazing winning Wednesday of your entire life. Why? Because you choose to do that, and you're that strong. I'll see you guys here. Hopefully, it'll be 7:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right here, Lona Curry, Facebook.com, as well as the Recovery Soul Food YouTube channel. I'll see you here, 7:45 for Free Your Mind Friday. Guys, I love you. Have a great day. Goodbye.